Hi, my name is Luke Ross, and I'm making this video today. This is going to be the first segment of a series we're going to make called Big to Small Talk. Basically, just kind of journaling my weight loss progress and kind of giving information to people, let them know what I did, what I've been through, and hopefully help somebody else, achieve their goals. Quick little background: I'm 27. I live here in the Kansas City area. I have so far lost 215 pounds. That's starting in October of 2013 until now. So I've been getting a lot of questions. People have been really noticing the changes lately, and I get talked to all the time. So we just decided to kind of throw a little Q&A thing out there on social media, and we got some questions we're going to try and address. And I'm here with Liz Babcock. She's going to kind of help corral me and keep me from rambling too long.
We'll see if it works. I've known Luke for a decade, and obviously before this journey, during it, and hopefully for the next one and through all the rest of it. So I'm kind of coming in as the friend and the question master, I guess, is what you get to deal with me today. I think for a lot of people, starting is almost impossible. It's something so huge that it seems like it can't be done.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the moment for you, though, that made you kind of draw the line in the sand and decide, let's do it?
I realized that I had to do something when I was going to get married. The thought of marrying someone, having a family, and then dying very early because of a metabolic disease such as like heart attack, stroke, diabetes, something like that, just scared the hell out of me. So I had a friend that had lost a lot of weight, and I reached out to him, found out that he had actually had weight loss surgery. So I started talking to my parents about that, and if it was a possibility, because I've just always been heavy, and it's really expensive. Insurance doesn't cover it.
Right.
So my dad and I kind of had a heart-to-heart one day at their house, and he just straight up asked me if I'd ever really tried to lose weight, and I had to be really honest with myself and just say no, like I really never had tried to lose any weight. So we decided that he wanted me to try it for like a month, really commit to changing my diet, commit to exercising regularly, and then just see what happens. And so that's kind of how I got started.
So it wasn't like a big drastic U-haul of your life when it began. So what were those first things that you really tried to make sure you implemented?
Just started being active every day, going to the gym, lifting weights was really all I could do. I couldn't really walk on a treadmill for more than about 10 minutes without just wanting to die. So I really just kind of started lifting weights with a buddy, and he kind of gave me some little tips on how to change things in my diet to make small differences, like stop drinking pop, drink more water, don't go out to eat every night, stuff like that. It was just kind of real basic stuff to start with.
And to be fair, it seems like it happened at a point in your life. I think you were around fit people before that and people who wanted to help you out. But I think talking about being married and thinking about that, it's that change between adolescence and adulthood,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that the world can kill you, and especially when you're on hands on it. So that idea of turning into an adult and taking your own responsibility, and that happens for different people at way different ages.
Right.
But I think that was definitely that part for you when you decided to really become an adult and to grow and decide that you wanted to take your life into your hands.
Yeah, this is like losing weight and really changing your health isn't something that someone else can do for you.
Right.
Like everyone my entire life told me that I needed to lose weight, Like I knew I needed to lose weight, and I just didn't want to. And when you finally decide to do it, that's when it becomes pretty easy.
When you start something though, and you put all this work in, so you've made these changes, you've made this decision, there's gotta be a period where you're putting in a lot of work and you're not seeing results. And culturally, we don't like delayed gratification. We like immediate results and immediate feel. So how did you get through that first hump of putting in work and not feeling a lot different or not seeing a lot different?
Yeah, that first 30 days, visibly, there really weren't any changes.
Yeah.
And I just kind of made a commitment to myself and my family that I was going to do it for the 30 days. I didn't weigh myself.
Begrudgingly get through it.
Right, like just grind through it and then just see
Yeah.
what happens. And I did it, and I lost 20 pounds in a month without really trying too hard.
Yeah.
So that's when I got that gratification, and it kind of justified all my efforts.
Right. And goal setting works that way. Our brains are designed to like goals. We create a goal and we get dopamine, little bits of dopamine along the way until you get that goal. And then you get a nice flush of dopamine that makes you feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Makes you feel on top of the world. So you lost weight that month. You lost weight another month. You lost weight another month. Eventually you don't lose weight. What happens?
I mean, for me, like, I'm really stubborn, but I'm pretty logical about stuff. So I assumed that eventually I wasn't gonna lose weight one month.
You're realistic about it.
Right, like, it's just gonna happen. Everyone's gonna have that moment. So I kind of had already prepared for it and knew that if I did that, I was just gonna either up my activity level or decrease my calories. Like, those are really your two options.
Okay.
And so, I just made the decision I'm gonna eat less food and see what happens, and that helped me get over that first little hump.
Did that keep working for you? Did you find times where you plateaued, where things weren't working, and what did you do then?
So yeah, I mean, eventually after, I don't even know how long, probably a year, I'd gotten my calories down so low that it didn't matter what I did, I wasn't gonna lose any weight. Like, I just wasn't eating enough food where my body is gonna let go of stored body fat. It
Right,
just wouldn't do it.
because your body can still go into starvation, preservation, even if you're overweight.
Right, yeah, I mean, you have to have so many calories a day just to wake up, breathe, and move around.
Fuel your body, make it work and function.
Right, and then every activity other than just waking up adds extra calories that you need. So there's a range that you can find where you don't eat that many, but you're still able to lose weight. But if you get really far away from that number, everything starts to slow down. You start to get tired, get groggy, and eventually you're going to stop losing weight. It
Right.
doesn't matter what you do. So that was when I really had to take a look at what I was doing, and I needed to seek out more information. So I started reading a lot, got on the internet, magazines, blogs, and I just realized that I just was not eating enough at all. And I started eating more. And the more I started eating, the more weight I was losing. It was a really strange period. I would eat 200 calories more every week, and I just kept losing more and more weight.
And that was probably when you really, you said you started researching more about food, but I think you also started changing your mentality with food and thinking of food in a different way. And that's hard for people. Culturally, our food is surrounded by feelings and surrounded by family. And so we feel like anytime we make changes to food, we're changing our family and we're changing our happiness. And that gets really dysfunctional really quickly. How did you figure that piece out? How did you work through disconnecting food from family and feelings and friends and just seeing it for what it is, that it's fuel and that you need it, but that you don't need it to be happy, or you don't need it to be satiated, or you don't need it to watch a movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's just something you just slowly reprogram how you think about things. I mean, it takes a while. It probably took me 12 months to really get to the point where I figured out that what I was doing wasn't good long term.
Right.
And so through that research, unbeknownst to me, I was reprogramming my brain how I thought about food. I no longer thought about a hamburger as a hamburger that, I'm eating on the 4th of July at a cookout with my family.
Right.
I'm eating meat, which is protein and fat, probably have some bread, which is a carbohydrate. It's going to give me good energy and things like that. And that's just how you start looking at things. And it's weird, like, only people that think that way really understand it. But I don't go out to eat and talk about, like, oh, look at all this protein I'm eating. I still call it chicken or whatever, but you just mentally, I'm thinking about it differently and how it's going to affect me later on when I go to work out, or with my recovery after a workout.
And again, just changing that perspective, and it is a slow thing, and it isn't something that happens overnight, and that's okay. And that it takes really diligently thinking about food and thinking about your wellness with food, so that you can have a healthy relationship with it, which I think more people than not have really dysfunctional relationships with food, even people who don't have a weight problem.
I would say probably 85% of the population have some sort of issue with food and the way they think about it.
There was a period where you'd made some gains, then you moved, changed jobs, changed a whole lot, and lost a lot of what you had lost, or gained a lot of what you had lost, however that wording works. What was that period like?
It was just kind of I don't know, like I just had a lot of excuses to not do it.
Yeah.
You know, new schedule. It was hard to like figure out what I wanted to do, when I could go and work out, and just basically just laziness. I mean, I just wasn't making time anymore to do it.
Right.
There's really nothing else there. I mean, I just didn't do it, and that's the honesty about it. I mean, at the time, I didn't think about it. I had all sorts of excuses why I wasn't, but now looking back, I just wasn't. I didn't do it.
So you got back in, got back to losing, got back to feeling good, and obviously lost a ton since then. What's the biggest change in your life? What's the hardest thing, or the part of this that sucks the worst, or that people don't understand the most?
Probably just the entire mentality of it. The general person won't understand. You know, why would someone go to the gym for 2 hours a day and just beat the hell out of themselves?
Right. And then
You
do it
know,
again tomorrow,
and
and
yeah.
the next day.
And yeah, just over and over. So I mean, just a lot of people just don't understand. Even people that are in the fitness industry
Right.
don't really understand, from my perspective, what's going on. The time commitment's really hard.
Yes.
I mean, I travel I have a long commute from work, and so if I want to go out after work or something like that, you know, I kind of have to figure out, okay, am I going to go to the gym before? You know, am I going to go out and not have as much fun, but then that way I can still go to the gym when I get home? So there's just a lot of like give and take, and you know, you really have to learn how to balance your time.
And it really isn't something that other people understand. We went and talked with Daniel and Bailey when they were in Nebraska, and Luke had asked kind of just a really basic question, like when stuff sucks and you don't want to go to the gym, how do you get over it? And she started coming up with a nice, eloquent answer about, you know, scheduling and making sure you're committed.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband just kind of interrupted and just said, you know what? She just lifts weights.
Yeah.
It's not hard. And I feel the same way. Like, I've never been overweight. I've had plenty of body issues in high school, been a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never been hard. And so your perspective of having to be completely diligent and eat the same thing every day and work out at the same time and do that, because if I skip a day, it doesn't make a big difference to my body.
Right.
If you, it's a different setback and it's different mentality for you.
Yeah, that was a really powerful thing that he told me. I mean, he said they know hundreds and thousands of people in the fitness industry, and he straight up told me, he's like, I don't know anyone that's done what you've done.
Right.
He's like, there's no one that I know that can tell you
What
to do. And he said in his mind was the definition of being very powerful. He's like, that's
Right.
a powerful thing, is that no one else can do what you've done. So he just told me, just keep fucking going, is pretty much all he had to say about it.
Right, because you do have it. And I think that that's probably the coolest thing out of this journey, at least what I see from you, is that you've gone from this person who's making this really personal discovery and journey and hard work, but now you're in a different role.
Right.
Now you're at the role where now you're talking to other people and giving other people advice. And that seems to be big in your heart and make you happy.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously losing weight's great, being healthier is awesome, you know, being able to lift really heavy weights and stuff like that, you know, that motivates me to try harder. But when people start looking up to me and asking me for
Right.
advice and tips, like, that probably means more to me than anything. And that if I can impact somebody's life and help them change something in any way, it might not even be weight related,
Right.
but if something that I've experienced can help them make their life better, like, that's going to be what's rewarding for me.
Absolutely. So what has changed in your image about you, or your conceptualization about you, or what you can do now that you couldn't do?
I mean, I think I've just realized that I can do whatever I want to do. I'm determined enough that if I put my mind to a goal, like, I will achieve it. I might not achieve it when I want to. I've set goals and I've missed them. And you just chalk it up to that's how it's going to be, and you set another timeline and you just keep going.
Right.
You know, you talked about like body image and stuff. For me, like, body image is something I struggle with. I still struggle with it a lot. I don't take my shirt off. I don't really wear like tight fitting clothes.
You know how to hide.
Right, I know how to hide it, and that's just something that I've been doing for so long that it's going to take a long time for me to get over that. I hope one day that I am that comfortable, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll get there, but it'll probably be a few more years.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
It takes time, and that change takes time.
right.
I think that's it for today.
All right, guys. So we're going to try and make these videos a lot, or not a lot, but we'll try to make some more. If you want us to keep making them, leave a comment.
Right.
Give us
Ask
some
your questions.
Yeah, ask some questions that you want some answers to. Give us a thumbs up, and we'll put like our social media stuff down below in the description, so you guys can follow us on Instagram and stuff like that.
Love you, Luke.
Love you too.